Hello, this is Santiago, and today we're going to be reading this new article for the week 8. And the general topic about this article is compensation and benefits. I tried to research for a more interactive article, and I find this one that is called or titled "What It Takes to Be a Fair Pay Workplace" by Joanna Kim Brunetti. It was posted December 12th of 2022. Okay, so as a brief summary, pay equity is more than just a competitive tool in a red hot labor market. It's an opportunity to foster innovation, drive employees' engagement, minimize turnover, maintain or improve brand reputation, or an attractive investors. With so much to gain from making pay equity a priority, employers who merely pay lip service or treat it as one of to their own risk, opening themselves up to public backlash and legal action, especially with more pay equity related law being enacted across the US and abroad. To help employers to understand what their organizations is regarding pay equity, the author suggested a three-level framework that allows organizations to evaluate their current pay practices, progress, and long-term goals. To the employees, customers, investors, and legislators have reached a resounding consensus. Diversity, equity, and inclusion day in the workplace matters. Oh, here we actually can listen to this article if you wanted to hear from another person. And not only does it matter, it should be at the top of your employer's to-do list in an increasingly competitive labor market. No more than ever, employers must assess how they can be better serve their employees and, in turn, their communities. Number one on the list, pay equity, ensuring that employees who perform similar work are paid fairly, regardless of their gender, ethnicity, or other protected class factors. In other words, equal pay for equal work. So here we can see equitable and fair pay is among the greatest drivers of employee satisfaction. Human resources research analyst and author John Bersich said in her HR predictions for 2022 report, if you want to win the war for talent in 2022, fair pay may be one of your biggest techniques. But pay equity is more than just a competitive tool in a red hot labor market. It is an opportunity to foster innovation, drive employee engagement, and minimize turnover, maintain or improve brand reputation, and attract investors. In fact, a study conducted by Job Recruiting site Indeed finds that 81 of workers are more productive and engaged when they perceive themselves as paid fairly. Moreover, that same report says 75% of employees are more likely to apply for a job when the company is known for pay transparency. With so much to gain from making equity a priority, employers who merely pay lip service are treated as one of do so their own risk. Employers that fail to effectively address pay inequity open themselves to public backlash and illegal action, all at the peril of the bottom line. This is especially true with more and more pay equity related laws being enacted across the US and abroad. No matter where your organization is on its pay equity journey, a diligent forward-looking vision is key. Fortunately, there are concrete steps employers can take to demonstrate genuine commitment to fair pay. The first one is the pay equity maturity model. In my role spearheading pay equity audit practices for Trusake, a purpose-driven technology company, I assisted in developing the pay equity maturity model to help employers to understand where they are regarding pay equity. It is a three-level framework that allows organizations to evaluate their current pay practices, progress and long term goals. To start, leaders should ask themselves some basic questions. Do you have pay equity related policies or initiatives? If so, are they documented? Are they being measured? How do they involve your employees? Do you actively communicate progress all of your stakeholders, including employees, investors, the public, and or your local community? Have you established your pay equity goals? How are you tracking your progress towards these goals? Is there accountability? Your answers to these questions will be key to identifying where your organization falls in the model as you evaluate your pay equity efforts and ultimately determine your position. Let these questions guide your progress with this progress. With some regularity, revisit them and see if you have advanced to the next level of the model. Below, we outline the three levels, discuss the key factors distinguishing each level, and identify how businesses can ascend to the model to become a true fair pay workplace. Foundational. The first stage of the model includes employers with an entry-level understanding of compensation equity. This type of workplaces typically lack strong DYE policies or representation, haven't established concrete pay equity or DEY measurement systems, and ultimately have low employee engagement. Employers at this level usually experience challenges in complaining with the various local, state, and federal equal pay related requirements because they don't have the resources to do so, or they are simply are making pay equity a priority. As a result, these employers carry gender and race, ethnicity, wage disparities, whether they know it or no. This is actually really important to take in account. This year, two companies in particular demonstrated the risk of not making pay equity a priority. The first is gaming company Riot Games, which recently settled 100 million share at gender discrimination lawsuit that include claims of unequal pay discrimination, sexual harassment, and retaliation with California Civil Rights Department. In addition to a lump sum payment to affected workers, the settlement requires the company to establish a reserve for making pay adjustments and funding DEY programs, as well as conduct routine pay equity audits to proactively identify potential instances of gender and race ethnicity, wage discrimination, and remedy them once found. The second example is an entertainment company, Activision Blizzard, which reached an agreement with the federal U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission for a similar claim. On top of paying 88, 18 million of gender discrimination, sexual harassment charges, the company must enhance its pay equity policies of the YE practices, as well as a higher hire an internal equal employment opportunity coordinator among other actions. These organizations agreement with various state and federal governments force them to incorporate elements of the pay equity maturity model into their overall organization strategy. Once these organizations implement the requested changes, they will exhibit characteristics of level 2 of the pay equity model. Programmatic. How to advance to the next level? First one, establish a measurement system for employee baseline pay. Define your pay equity goals. I'm sorry. Continuously monitor your baseline pay to track progress towards these goals. And the last one, communicate commitment and progress to the relevant stakeholders. Uh, and a stakeholder is basically the customers or those that group of people that is interested uh, in the long lasting of the company. So we have Chromatic, that is the second stage of this program. Employers at the programmatic level of the model have fair pay initiatives underway, measurement systems in place, and job structures and a pay philosophy documented. They are complying with the pay equity laws and working to improve representation. They communicate goals, progress, and achievement with various stakeholders. Sorry. Employers should know that the programmatic level, while significantly further along that the foundation level, is not necessarily a safe zone, actually. For example, despite making a proactive pay equity efforts, LinkedIn recently paid almost 2 millions in back pay to 700 female workers in its California-based engineering, marketing, and product departments, who were paid less than their male counterparts. While the company was able to demonstrate that it was making a conscious, proactive effort to foster pay practices, the results of its internal analysis contrasted with an analysis by the Department of Labor. LinkedIn denies allegation of discrimination, but entered into the multi-million dollar settlement agreement. Since the settlement, LinkedIn has also signed the California Equals Pay Pledge, with among of other items demonstrates a commitment to ensure an equitable pay practice across its workforce. This situation highlights the importance of data quality when conducting pay equality audits. If you're making compensation decisions based on faulty data, it can be constantly and ultimately create more pay inequity issues. Working with pay equity experts can help ensure a reliable data are powering your pay equity experts and your pay equity audits. Software too plays an important role since it can monitor pay equity continuously and validate data. So, while conducting a pay equity audits is criminal for becoming a fair pay workplace, employers looking to advance to the highest level of the pay equity material model must take additional action. So we have how to advance to the next level. First one, validate the data to ensure pay equity initiatives are accurate. Second one, routinely, sorry, act and pay equity and representation findings to achieve fair pay. Third one, identify root causes and align initiatives to eliminate them. Fourth, execute plan initiatives to address pay issues, eliminate pay disparities, and improve representations, employee sentiment, promotion, hiring, and retention. This is the fifth one. Um, achieve or surpass base equity DEA standards, industry benchmarks. Sixth one, regularly communicate progress to stakeholders. 71, apply leadership bonus compensation to achieve the UI global standards. And last one, obtain a third party certification demonstrating achievement and commitment to fair pay. Strategic. Employers who have reached at this level have worked their fair pay goals and initiatives into their business philosophy, and they constantly work towards promoting pay equity in DYE. They have reliable data, routinely perform pay equity audits, and subsequently take action to correct those root causes of pay disparities if identified. Moreover, employees at this stage of the model solicit employee feedback and use to drive their pay equity initiatives. L'Oreal and GM are two examples of companies at the top of the model. GM has regular ESG and CSR reporting in place, demonstrating workplace transparency and ongoing commitment to sustaining pay equity. GM has publicly shared that it has no overall gender pay gap, and reported in 2019 that women made up 50% of its board of directors. Last year, L'Oreal became EDGE certified, which means their pay equity and DYE achievements were reviewed and verified by an independent third-party auditor. Actions like receiving third-party certifications prove to employees, investors, and other key stakeholders that the organization's stance on pay equity is documented and confirmed. Pay equity is ongoing. Employers making pay equity a priority this year and ongoing forward should identify where they stand in the pay equity maturity model and what it will take to get to the next level. And if you haven't started on your pay equity journey, don't wait any longer. As rapidly evolving work environment continues, one thing is clear: achieving fair pay is an ongoing effort that requires a long-term commitment. Those eager to compete in the war for talent will pursue it like any other business function, as the saying goes. What gets measured gets managed. Y con esta última frasecita, lo que es medido es manejado. Me gustaría como tal empezar como el resumen o lo que pienso acerca de este artículo. Básicamente lo que nos habla del artículo es como el pay equity o la equidad de pago ha sido una problemática bastante grande, más que todo en Estados Unidos, que es el país pues en el cual está basado pues el artículo, ¿cierto? Y como las leyes eh, han trabajado en pro de que como tal los employers o los empresarios pues le puedan brindar una mayor estabilidad en términos de equidad de pago a los employees, o sea, a los empleados como tal. Está el employer, que es el empleador, y el employee, que es el empleado, ¿cierto? Entonces, nos habla como tal de este modelo de tres fases en el cual nos dice qué es lo que debemos hacer o cuál es la iniciativa que debemos plantear para poder lograr plantear un programa muy bueno de equidad de pago. Inicialmente me gustaría resaltar algo bien importante que nos hablan y que me llamó mucho la atención y son dos empresas que fueron denunciadas como tal por temas de equidad de pago, ya sea por género, raza, orientación sexual, identidad de género, las cuales son inicialmente fueron LinkedIn. Déjenme, yo busco por aquí. Aquí nos están hablando de LinkedIn, donde nos están diciendo que LinkedIn pagó $2 millones a 700 mujeres trabajadoras en, en los departamentos de ingeniería, de marketing y el departamento de productos como tal, que estaban siendo menor pagadas o mucho más mal pagadas que los empleados masculinos, lo cual pues obviamente generó como tal esta revisión. Ellos como tal decían o inicialmente declinaron que ellos estaban haciendo eso y pues posteriormente como que tal se mantenían en que ellos estaban trabajando en la equidad de pago, pero pues al final y al cabo se comprobó que no lo estaban haciendo. La que me pareció un poco más fuerte es, me lo encuentro por aquí. Esta compañía de videojuegos que se llama Riot Games, la cual recientemente pues entró en un tema judicial de alrededor de $100 millones por temas de, o sea, entraron en una denuncia, ¿cierto?, de $100 millones por discriminación de género, la cual incluía como tal quejas de pagos no equivalentes o básicamente no equals, que básicamente traduce como, eh, es básicamente, se le debería pagar como tal igual a todo el mundo y no se le estaba pagando como correctamente, ¿cierto? También hablan de discriminación, de acoso sexual, lo cual obviamente pues terminó en esta multa de $100 millones a Riot Games, que es una compañía de videojuegos pues bastante conocida. Básicamente, en resumidas cuentas, ya para ir cerrando el espacio, me parece bien importante resaltar eso, más que todo hoy en día. eh, Digo hoy en día porque antes no se le daba la visibilidad que necesitaba ese tipo de problemas en los cuales muchas mujeres estaban siendo pues mal pagas simplemente por el hecho de ser mujer y pues compañías estaban permitiendo que esto pasara, ¿cierto? Lo cual es bien importante como tal que se tenga en cuenta ese tipo de denuncias que se han hecho. Algo que me parece súper importante resaltar es esto último que nos está hablando nuestra escritora Joana, y es que básicamente lo que se mide se puede manejar, lo que no se mide no se puede manejar, ¿cierto? Y durante todo el artículo nos hablaban de lo importante que es implementar sistemas de medición de equidad de pago, pues para identificar las oportunidades que se encuentren dentro de la empresa como tal, manejarlas, trabajarlas y pues posteriormente manejarlas, ¿cierto? Entonces nos mencionaban que o lo que nos deja saber esto al final es que si tú no mides, pues al final y al cabo no vas a saber realmente en qué puedes enfocar tus energías y qué es lo que puedes hacer con el problema de equidad que puedas tener dentro de tu compañía. Básicamente era eso. Muchas gracias por escuchar. Que tengan un buen resto de día.